Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's class. And today we are going to be talking about design principles. So, what are really design principles? What does design principles do to our design? So, merely looking at this design, you already understand the usefulness of design principles. Now, they help to make the designs that you are doing to be enticing, to be understandable in a way that when the end user see it, they can be able to assimilate what your design is all about. So looking at this design now, you can't comprehend. In fact, if you are not seeing the clothes, the only thing that will make you understand what this design flyer is for is this clothes that you are seeing. Without this clothes, you might not really know that this is a flyer for advertising a clothes. So this is the usefulness of design principles, and we are going to be taking them one after the other. So there are so many principles of design. If you go online and search for principles of design, you'll be opened up to so many design principles. But today we are going to be taking six of them. And the first one being proximity. So what is really proximity? So proximity is using visual space to show relationship in your text or content. Things that are related are put together. Emphasis on things that are related are put together. So now, to understand proximity more, let's say in your room, when you are arranging your things, everything is not in one place, right? There is a place you keep your bed, there is a place you keep your workspace. You can't keep your workspace on your bed because that is not the right thing to do and it will make you uncomfortable. Now, there is a place where your fan is standing, there is a place where your fridge is. You cannot carry your fan and keep it on top of your fridge, right? So, arranging your rooms and putting things where they are supposed to be and also putting things that are related together. Like you cannot carry your clothes that is in your wardrobe to just like drop it on your fridge because they are not related. And you cannot carry your cold drinks that you want to be cold and put in your wardrobe to be cold. It can't because it is not where it is meant to be. They are not related together. Do you get? So that is the same thing about proximity. Putting things that are related together. So if you notice in this first design, everything is scattered. Services is here, number is here, address is here, and the main address is here. There is a clothes here, there is a clothes here. So everything is disorganized, and really it's hard to comprehend. It's hard to understand what the design is really talking about. So that is what where proximity comes in. Proximity here helps to put things that are related together. So now we have placed things that are related together, but yet design is not yet making sense, right? Because there are other principles to be applied. So it is when one does not understand these principles, that is when you do a design and everything is scattered. But once you have a good knowledge of design principles, you can use any software to design. I personally, I can design with Photoshop, I can design with Illustrator, I can design with Figma, I can design with Canva, because design is not all about the software, it is all about the knowledge of what design is and what can help you make a good design. You can learn any software of your choice, but knowing that principle is what will give you an edge. So now we have explained what proximity is. The next one is white space. The next one is white space. So white space basically is the ability of your design to breathe, right? So we are going to explain white space together with alignment. Now, when you look at this design, there is space everywhere, right? So this places that there is no design in, that is what white space is, the ability of your design to breathe. Now, if you look at this former design, it is not breathing because everything is clustered. Like there are details everywhere, and there are people that do designs like this. There are details everywhere. Looking at the design, you don't know where to start, you don't know where your eyes is going. But white space helps your design to breathe, helps the users to, when they look at the design, they're able to understand all that the design is talking about. Okay. So we've covered proximity, putting things that are related together, and service. These are the services. They are related and they are together. These clothes, they are related and they are being put together. This contact and address, they are together and they are being put close to each other to show relationship. Now we've added some white space, which is the second principle. We've added some white space and the design is gradually coming together. So anytime you design and there is no space in your design, please, it is not a good design because the design is choked up. Always ensure that there is room for your design to breathe. Okay. So the next one we are going to talk about is alignment. So there are different kinds of alignment. You can choose to do center alignment in your design. You can choose to do left. You can choose to do right. But what we are doing here is left alignment. And in some of the designs we did, we are going to do in this class, some are going to be centered and some are going to be left aligned. So the process of adjusting a mechanism such that its parts are aligned. Alignment is the invisible power that is connecting it together. So now you notice that everything in this design is now well aligned. Unlike when we added our white space, everything looked good, but not as good as it is with the alignment. The principle of alignment states that nothing should be placed on the page arbitrarily, like the way our page was in the first design that I showed you. Every item should have a visual connection with something else on the page. Do you get? So now we have placed this marquee, the services, the clothes, and even the contact address on one side, and everything is well aligned. So the next principle we are going to take is contrast and hierarchy. So contrast and hierarchy are closely tied together. So contrast is the degree of difference, the little changes in a design. So the importance of contrast is that it can help you catch the reader's eye. So this marquee couture is already catching your eyes because there is contrast in it. It can help you to create emphasis and it can also help to call attention to important objects. So when you look at this other design that we did, there is no contrast. Everything is just looking the same. But adding subtle things like making this bold, adding a rectangle shape to house these services, adding a rectangle shape to house the wears, like it has made the design to stand out and it has also helped to call attention to the design. So these are little things that design principles help to do in a design. When you have a good understanding of design principle, there is nothing that you cannot design. That is why we are taking it first for this class before we start designing, because you cannot design what you don't understand. It is when you have the principles and you understand them that you'll be able to design. And understanding these principles is not a one-time thing. It's not something you watch today and you leave it and you think you've mastered it. As I'm explaining it, it will be understandable. But when you want to do your own design, you start finding it difficult. So it is something that even after you are done, you would still go back. You can search other videos and watch these principles and try to master them. They are going to help your skill a lot. So hierarchy is a visual technique that can help the viewer navigate your work. In other words, it shows them where to begin and where to go next using different levels of emphasis. This is why I said hierarchy and contrast are closely tied together because it helps to show the user or the person, the audience that is looking at your design to know where to start. So if you go back to our first design, don't know where to start from this design. You don't know where to start from, you don't know where to go next, and you don't even know where to end. But after we've applied emphasis on things that are important, you now know where to look at first, you know where to go next, and you understand everything, basically everything about this flyer design. And that is what design principles are all about. First, we added proximity, which is grouping things that are related together. Then we added white space. These empty spaces that you can find nothing is what is making your design to breathe, because design is breathe. That is the truth. After that, we added alignment by aligning things together, like this couture, the services, the clothes, everything is well aligned on one side. And then after that, we added contrast. These are the contrast that we added to the design. And after we added contrast, we also added hierarchy, because hierarchy and contrast, just like I said, they are closely tied together. And the last one is repetition. So repetition is a constant reminder that every project should have a consistent look and feel. If I ask you what is repeated in this design, what would you say? First, you would say the color, right? Then you'd say the clothes, and then you'd say the rectangles that we used consistently. Those are the things that are repeated. And this repetition, it helps to stick the information that you want in the mind of the users, in the mind of the viewers that are going to view your design. It helps to stick the information in their memory. Okay, so I'll go over it again. First, you add, it's not a must that you do it according to order, but if that is how you can do it in order to master it, then that is fine. First, you add your proximity, making sure that you put things that are related together. Then you add your white space so that your design can breathe. Then you add alignment, grouping things. It's either you are using center alignment or you are using left alignment. It's already when you know these principles very well that you can break them. There are people that can design left, right, and center alignment, and the design will be superb. But as a beginner, don't try to break the rules before you already know them. So just stick to the rules. If you're designing right aligned, you make sure that it is well aligned to the right. If you want your designs to be left aligned, you also make sure that they are well aligned to the left. The next thing, we added contrast and hierarchy. Now, contrast can be added anyway. It can be added with height, with the weight. Okay, like we made this Maki Couture bold, and that is one of the one that's a way to add contrast. We also made it big by size. That is another way to add contrast. And if you add it, if you also make it cursive, it is also contrast. Okay, yeah, I think you can add it here, but these are different ways that you can add contrast. If you also change the font to another type of font, it is adding contrast because it is not different from the other things, and it can easily attract attention. So you can add contrast by weight, by changing the weight. You can add contrast by changing the size. Okay, these are different ways that you can add contrast, and I hope you understand. I hope this is well understood. The next class we are going to talk about colors. Colors are not hard. You just need to understand and ensure that you are always paying attention when you are designing. Your eyes are always watching, and you are very vigilant. Like you are understanding that, okay, this and this can go together, and this they cannot go together. All right. So the next class we're going to talk about color, and I hope you understood everything we talked about. If there is anything you don't understand, kindly drop your questions in the group chat. Once it is open, you drop your questions. Do have a lovely day. Bye.